Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Jan with Guided Path Conversations, and I'm here today to talk about what to do if there's a job layoff. So you go to work one day, and your manager wants to have a meeting with you, and when you show up, there's a human resources rep in the room as well, and you get the news. Now, hopefully you've been reading some of the signs that something may be happening at your organization, but maybe this is straight out of the blue. Or maybe it's not a one-on-one and it's your entire department and you're getting together with your manager in the human resources department and that's what you find out. Hopefully you're not getting a text message or a voicemail or a email, at like 2 a.m. saying basically don't come in. We've all heard those stories. That's horrible. And you don't want that to happen to you. And I hope that that doesn't happen to you. So now what? Right? So if this is you or someone that you know, please share this video with them because I have a lot of tips in here to help you get through this process, these first couple days and what your action plan should be. I do want to say I do have some notes because I have a lot of information I need to share with you. And just welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you joined me today. And as you may know or may recall of what I've said in the past, I've been in human resources for 30 years. I have been on the side of the table that has to sit with a group of people and tell them that their department's being downsized. I've had to sit with individuals, and I myself have been downsized. So I understand what happens when you hear that news. So let's start with the first the first thing that happens is you're shocked. You might have thought it might be coming. You might have heard some rumors, this, that, and the other thing. But when you hear it, it's still shocking. Okay, it's just, there's no getting away from that. And if you're not shocked, you're mad. Or maybe you're shocked and then you're mad. And those are all normal emotions, and it's going to happen to all of us. So the first thing you want to do is take a deep breath, okay? And give yourself a period of time to feel these emotions. Whether you say, okay, so for the next 24 hours, I'm going to get it out of my system, the next 48 hours, whatever it is. Do you go home? Do you do a hard workout, a hard run? Do you, punch a pillow? I don't know. Do you make your favorite meal like some mac and cheese? Or maybe a shrimp ring and a glass of wine? I don't know. But this is natural. It's going to happen. Feel the emotions. Don't do anything stupid or rash. So, in other words, don't send an angry email to your boss because chances are it wasn't his or her idea to do this. It might be coming from corporate, someone above him or her. So don't do that. And don't get on social media and start bashing your employer, your boss, whomever, okay? All that stuff can be found. Even if you delete that post, it's never really deleted. So, don't do that, okay? Just go through those emotions and process them. And then you're going to roll up your sleeves because you got some work to do. So give yourself that grace period, get it out, and then we're going to get to work. We're going to evaluate. Did you like the career field you were in? Is there something you've always wanted to do? Is there a business you wanted to start? Do you have a side hustle and now it's time to make it full time? There's all sorts of possibilities. Sometimes losing your job is a gift and it gives you that little push to take those next steps. Is it going back to school? Is it changing fields? Is it going into like a different sector or something of industry? Like I said, do you want to start your own business? Just think of everything and write it all down because you're going to want to evaluate that list in the future. But just, all your thoughts, everything, just keep a pad. You could be washing the dishes and you're like, wonder what it's like to be a physical therapist. Oh, that sounds interesting. Let me look at it. This is your time to do all those kinds of things. Second, you want to evaluate your final paycheck and or severance. So, when you get that news, you might be shocked. There's all different kinds of layoffs that I was talking about. So, are you going back to work? Are you going to work the next 30, 60, 90 days? Did they say, hey, today's your last day. We're going to pay you for a period of time. But sometimes when you're in that mode, you're not listening to everything that they say. So there's nothing wrong with picking back up the phone, calling your employer and just saying, hey, I have some questions. Need to know about my pay, my severance. What am I getting? How is that being paid out to me? Figure all that out. Is it a lump sum? Are you going to be paid over the next, month or 2 months, like with your regular payroll, like every other week or however you get paid? Is that going to still happen? So find all that out, okay? The other thing to realize is that with severance, there isn't a law that says, at least a federal law, states might be different, there isn't a law that says you are allowed or required to get severance. Now, if you're part of a union or you have some type of contract, there might be a provision in there for that. But there isn't a law about that. So kind of get that, again, could be state specific, but there's no federal law, okay? So figure out what your pay is and how that's coming in. And then the next thing is the health insurance. What's happening with your health insurance? Is it going to be paid out while your severance and final pay is paid out? I worked somewhere where once our final pay was given to the employees, we gave them 1 month of COBRA. COBRA, it's expensive, but that allows you to continue the same exact insurance that you have right now with your employer. However, you pay the full amount, the full premium, plus a 2% administrative fee. And that administrative fee is because I would say 99.9% of the companies outsource their COBRA to a third party, and that's their fee for running the COBRA program so that the employer doesn't have to do it. So that's expensive. If you're like currently in treatment for something, you may want to consider doing COBRA for a month or two while you maybe finalize a medical condition that you're going through, and because you have coverage, what you're paying. Everything's the same. It's just like you have your same insurance at work. It's just you get to pay the whole amount. Yikes. You might get coverage through healthcare.gov. It is open enrollment time, although this is a qualifying event, so you can jump in there. I guess those ACA subsidies are going away. I never really fully understood them, quite honestly, being transparent. So you got to find out about that. You might also want to look in your area for a broker who handles health insurance and see if they can help find a plan. And remember, you're going to get another job. So this is like a catastrophic plan. Get like if you're healthy, get like a ridiculously high deductible. Get like a $10,000, $15,000 deductible because you only want it to cover the big things. And it's, again, not forever. You're going to get another job and you'll have employer coverage again. So try to get something as cheap as you can, but don't go without coverage because, of course, that's when something happens, right? So now you're going to look at your support system. Okay, so who is that? Who are you safe, expressing your emotions to, how you're feeling, how you're processing everything. But you also want to use your support system to help you find a job. And that's kind of that hidden job market that you hear about. And I can do a deeper dive on any of these topics. Just let me know in the comments below. But your support system are going to be people, you're just going to tell everybody that I don't have a job anymore. I just lost my job, or my job's going away on X day. These are my skill sets. Here's my resume. Can you, put some feelers out for me if there's anyone is your company hiring, anything like that. Put it out on Facebook. It's okay. Or Instagram, whatever it is you do, X, whatever. Put it out there. Your LinkedIn profile, again, is your professional profile. Put it out there because recruiters do look at LinkedIn, and then you use the other social networks for networking that way, like with people And then again, if you have children, make sure you tell your children, hey, look at mom or dad has lost their job. Things are going to be a little different for us right now around the house. We're not going to be able to go here, go there, do this, do that. And it's just temporary. You know your kid's age and their maturity level, but don't hide it from them. Let them know what's happening. Next, you want to make a new budget. This is going to be your bare bones 4-wall budget. You need to keep a roof over your head. So what's your rent or mortgage? You need to pay your utilities. You need food on the table, and you need to keep your transportation going. So, nothing extra, but you still got to put gas in the car. This isn't the time to do any kind of maintenance or anything, but, keep your wheels rolling, so to speak. And I did make a video that I'm going to link either right now, if I can figure that out, or at the end of my video. And it was called Preparing Your 4 Walls for a Layoff. So make sure you visit that video and you'll get some ideas on what to do there. Do you have your emergency fund in place? Have you been keeping that up to date? Again, the other thing with your bare walls is you just want to make the minimums on a car payment, on a credit card, a student loan, whatever it is you have. This isn't the time to pay extra. This is the time to keep shelter in place, keep food on the table, and just, keep one foot in front of the other, okay? There's no eating out. There's no going out. If you want to go to the park with your packed lunch, that's fine. But you're not going out to eat. You're not going through the drive-thrus. You're making your own coffee, okay? And just, again, tell everybody in your household, this is all we're paying for right now, because you got to preserve everything you have. And if you haven't, make sure you file for unemployment. Okay, it's different in every state. It's something is better than nothing. It's not going to replace your income, but you might want to make sure you file that and get that money flowing in as well. And then you want some new routines, okay? Because now your life is just turned upside down. It's easy to get sucked into the web, whether you're on social media or you're job searching or researching. You can spend 8 hours a day there. So I would advise you, don't do that. Okay, yes, it's your full-time job to look for a job, but looking for a job just isn't sending blind resumes and applications out via the web. Okay, you want to, look at your old routine. You still want to get up at a decent hour, get showered, get dressed. And if you exercise in the morning or something, do that. And then, you want to say, okay, I'm going to time block. I'm from 9 until 11. I'm going to do some job research and some job searching on the web. And then I'm going to have lunch, and then I'm going to go hit the road. And maybe you have a stack of resumes and you've identified some businesses in your area, or maybe you're going to go to the temp agency, or you're going to go visit with some people that you know and just hand out your resume and hit the road and spend a couple hours doing that. That's your job. And again, like I said, I can make a whole nother video on the hidden job market and how to look for a job, but I'm just trying to give you some pointers as to what you need to be doing, your action steps right now when you lose that job. If you decide, I want to go back to school, maybe you're doing you're going to your local community college or what have you to try and do a little research there, ask some questions, find out are there grants, scholarships, any of those kinds of things. You also kind of want to maybe shift gears a little bit too, and if you have severance for 6 months or 6 months, that would be nice, maybe 60 days, maybe take a day and clean out that closet, go through your wardrobe, find, you're not buying new clothes, but maybe you're reshopping your wardrobe. You can do some little projects because you got to kind of take your mind off things. So maybe do a little time block on your schedule to fit in a little thing here, a little thing there, clean out that cabinet, what have you, look under the bed, what's under there. Do a couple little things. Maybe you want to volunteer. Maybe you want to volunteer at your kid's school. Or maybe there's some other area of interest in your community that you've always wanted to give a little time to. You have a little bit of time. Again, you need to get your income back up, but maybe, volunteer, because that's also part of the hidden job market. I feel like when I lost my job, which was back in 2009 during the great financial crisis, I feel like there was some wasted time there, because I did get a nice severance package and I was having unemployment, and I just was so darn scared about finding a job again that in hindsight, yes, it did take me 10 months to land a full-time job, but we weren't wanting for anything. Like, we were able, and again, it's just me and my husband, but we were able to make our bills, put food on the table. I helped him with his business. Again, like I said, I did have a nice severance, and I'm not spending any money because I'm not going anywhere. So that money did stretch for a while. And I look back and I'm like, man, you know, I could have done some things. You know, I could have given my time somewhere and done something like that. So don't be so keyed up that you can't find a little time to do something good for your community or for yourself. And I'm going to give you 3 quick ways to find a job and to kind of get started in that process. And again, that's a whole nother video, and that'll be next week. So again, evaluate, is this time for a career change? List your skills and any of your natural talents. Put them all out on paper. What are your strengths? And then you're going to do a little research as to, like, what other careers fit this skill set that I have. Use your connections, like I discussed already. If you're going to go into like a new space or a new industry, reach out to people that may know somebody in that industry to try to get your foot in the door. Make a list of people who can get you there and get you connected, and talk with them. Again, you always have to keep digging. It's not really who you know, it's who they know. And lastly, look for part-time, contract, or temporary or gig work. Look at the agencies that might be in your area. Anything could lead to a full-time opportunity. You know, if there's somewhere that you go regularly, maybe like you're a yoga person and you're always going to the yoga studio. Well, you're in there with a bunch of people that you see all the time. Let them know, okay? Ask the lady that owns the yoga studio, hey, you know, I'm in here 4 days a week. I just lost my job. I'd like to continue your classes. So can you give me some free classes if I work your front counter for 2 hours a week or something like that? Maybe do some bartering. And then, you know, you're meeting other people, again, connecting. Maybe that yoga teacher's like, wow, she's really great. Maybe I could use her. She's got bookkeeping skills. Maybe she can help me with my QuickBooks or something like that. Okay. It's tough when you get laid off. Like I said, I've been there myself. Did not see that one coming, but use this time to your advantage. Okay. If you stay calm, evaluate your next steps, develop a plan, and follow it, you're going to be okay. Okay, we all get through this. Of course, all you hear are the horror stories. Oh, I didn't find a job for 6 years. I mean, really? 6 years you couldn't find a job? Nothing? Nothing? I mean, I find that very hard to believe. So stay tuned next week so we can talk a little bit about the hidden job market. And I know my channel is supposed to be about finance, but when you don't have a job, that does impact your finances. So it's all kind of related. And you can use my experience as an HR professional to help you find a job. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. If you know somebody who's going through this right now and it's not you, please share this video with them. Please leave any kind of comments or questions down below. I'd like to answer them and create a community here so we can talk and share ideas. Anything else, any other ideas you might have on how you handle the news when you get something like this? I know some of us have been through it before. And, you know, what did you do? How did you handle it? Share your experiences, okay? So stay tuned next week. Like I said, we will talk about the job search. I also still have to talk to you about writing a resume. So I could make a little bit of a longer video. Interview skills, there's so many things we can discuss. I'm super excited about it. So have a great week. Oh, it is Christmas next week. Tomorrow, or a week from today, is Christmas. So I will put a video out. It'll probably be Friday or Saturday. If you are someone who celebrates Christmas, I wish you and your family nothing but peace and joy this season. Enjoy the time that you have with your family, because, you know, you never know when it might be the last one that you all are together. Speaking from experience. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great day. Bye-bye.